What's going on, gamers? It's your boy DiggsGaming. Welcome back to All Fun Things Gaming News. And today we don't have a lot of gaming news to cover because of the two showcases that happened this week. I'm by myself. That's perfectly fine. I got a lot to talk about, starting with an update from Activision Blizzard. So a couple weeks ago, we saw the Raven Software Union was finally formed. They finally agreed to unionize. And Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has released that he will recognize the union and begin negotiations with them. Now, that's pretty much all he could do. I mean, if he didn't do anything else, it would have just had a lot of backlash. It would have just been not good on him. So made the right move, saved a lot of trouble, and we'll see how far this goes. Remember, Activision Blizzard will be officially bought by Microsoft during the summer next year. So that's still a long ways away. And also with Activision Blizzard, so Diablo Immortal was finally released. And oh boy, was it bad. Right now, it has the lowest user score ever on Metacritic. Ouch. I mean, we all saw this coming when it was first revealed. Diablo Immortal, it's that mobile game that was announced where nobody was happy with it. In fact, somebody in the crowd had actually asked Blizzard themselves if this was like an early April Fool's Day joke. And oh my God, such a bad reveal, and you just knew it was not going to end well with this numerous delays. And now it's finally out, and yeah, not good at all. Moving on, Square Enix has revealed that the sales money that they got from Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal being bought by the Embracer Group is not going to be used in blockchain and NFTs as a lot of people thought it was going to be, and it was reported. Now, that's something where, okay, maybe some people jumped the gun on that, but yeah, it was not a good look. And it's kind of surprising that it took Square Enix this long to really answer that. You would have thought they would have gotten ahead of that, but they revealed that, and that's really a good thing to hear, that they're actually not going to be using that money for that stuff, because really NFTs right now, I mean, first of all, they're really dropping in value. They've been dropping in value for the longest time, and just don't think it's going to get any better. It looks like we really saw the peak of NFTs, and now it's just starting to drop. And when this was revealed, a lot of people were not happy with Square Enix because they just did not see the point of them selling these talented development teams and basically using that money for, stuff like that. They just did not see as a good business move by Square Enix. So whether this is true or not, with what Square Enix is telling us, I'm willing to believe them as of right now until proven otherwise. Glad they said something about this, but really it took them a while to say something. It really did. Okay, moving on. Employees from a GameStop in Nebraska walked out and they put a letter on the door telling customers not to shop there. On the letter, they tell, "Attention GameStop patrons, we regret to inform you that we all quit. Our district manager has no respect for us as employees or as human beings. We have been told by our district manager we were supposed to have had this store achieving sales quotas and running perfectly 6 months ago, which was 3 months before a lot of us even got hired. Unfortunately, despite the staff's best efforts, we are not God. For all your gaming needs, please visit." And then they just list 3 stores that they can go to buy video games. And then they end with, "Spend your money at an establishment that respects its employees. Sincerely, former GameStop team." Oh my God. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. And I saw this and I'm just like, what on earth? And GameStop has not had a good look the past few years. I mean, it all started with the pandemic and the stay at home. And then GameStop was trying to say that they are an essential business when they really are not an essential business. And they kept trying to fight that for whatever reason. And just a lot of reports from former GameStop employees. Jojo, as you know, used to work at a GameStop, so I'm sure he's got some stories that he could tell. But I mean, this is just, it's funny, but it's also sad. Again, you just can't make this stuff up. And good on them for taking a stand. Good on them for taking a stand. And when they feel like they're not being respected as human beings, that's really what gets to me sometimes because, I mean, yes, they are employees, but they are still human beings and they're not miracle workers, as they said. And again, what they said, the store is supposed to be up and running and hitting quotas from 6 months ago when a lot of them weren't even there. So I do understand where they're coming from. And again, this is just not a good look for GameStop. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to control my laughter because, it, again, it's just shocking and it's not really surprising from what we've heard from GameStop. And hopefully this leads to some changes in the company, but maybe not. Next up, E3 could be coming back next year. The president of Entertainment Software Association, also known as the ESA, which is the parent company of E3, the CEO, Stan Pierre-Louis, said in an interview to the Washington Post, "We're excited about coming back in 2023 with both a digital and an in-person event. As much as we love these digital events and as much as they reach people and we want that global reach, we also know that there's a really strong desire for people to convene, to be able to connect in person and see each other and talk about what makes games great." Wow. I mean, nobody saw this coming. Everybody thought that E3 was pretty much done after not showing up in 2020, only having a digital event in 2021, and then not showing up again in 2022. We all thought E3 was dead, but that may not be the case. E3 looks like it is going to be coming back in 2023, which would be great because to lose something like E3, which gave us great moments, great reveals, and has just been a part of a lot of gamers' history, that would really be sad. And for a lot of gamers, I mean, the dream is going to E3, really. And to lose that, it really would have been sad. And it's just something that, you're basically losing a bit of gaming history if E3 was to just go away. Now, we do have Summer Game Fest, and we know companies have been doing their own summer events, but it still isn't the same as E3. Now we know that E3 has had its problems the past few years. The fact that the quality's kind of been dragging a little bit, and they got into a little trouble with the thing with the journalists' personal information getting out. If they are able to overcome this and come back and still put on a great event, then that would be great for gaming. And hopefully that does happen. Hopefully we do see E3 come back. All right, let's talk about Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. I'm going to start with the Summer Game Fest event because that was first, and I want to get that out of the way first. As a whole, I mean, a lot of shooters and a lot of space horror games. That's what we saw from Summer Game Fest this year, was a lot of those, and that's all nice and well. You do want to see some bit of diversity with these games. You do want to see different games show up because different gamers like different types of games. But you know what? Jeff Keighley tries his best, and I do commend him for trying his best and trying to get people excited about this. But let's talk about what was shown off there. Now, I'm going to start with the finale because this is just one where it was just unfortunate. So Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog came on the stage and was talking about the things that Naughty Dog was up to. And of course, they talked about The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which got leaked that morning of Summer Game Fest. And it wasn't even anybody's fault except for Sony. Sony accidentally revealed this before the event. They accidentally put it on like the PlayStation Store before it was revealed. And that's just, oh man, that's just sad because, here it was going to be this big reveal and it got leaked before the events. Luckily, Neil Druckmann and Jeff Keighley were able to have a laugh about that, but you just knew that had to make him feel something inside. It's like, oh, why did this have to get leaked? Luckily, that was not the only thing that was shown off. We also got a Fractions 2 update, which now we know what's going on with this game. Originally, it was supposed to be the multiplayer for The Last of Us Part 2, but because of what was going on with this development and because of how big it was becoming, they decided to make it its own game. And from what Neil Druckmann said, he said it's as big as some of their other titles, maybe even bigger than some of their other titles. And the things that you can do in that game, it does sound very interesting. And a lot of people have been waiting for this game, and we will get more information in 2023. Now, not only that, but we also found out that Neil Druckmann is going to be working on his own game, that he's working on something over at Naughty Dog. Now, we can't reveal anything, but we do know he's working on something, so that's good to hear. And then we also found out that The Last of Us Part 2 has reached 10 million copies sold. That is terrific, the fact that it's reached that many copies sold. It's absolutely terrific. And then with The Last of Us Part 1 remake, a lot of people have been saying, well, I don't understand why they're remaking. It's too early for something like this. And then you see the game, and it looks absolutely amazing. Now, all we saw was cutscenes, and they were comparing it from The Last of Us Remastered to the remake, and you definitely see a difference. You see more detail, and when this game gets released, yeah, it's going to fly off the shelves. In fact, it already is starting to, because they released this Firefly edition of the game that comes with various things that was going for $100, and it's sold out almost right away. So that gives you an idea on how excited people are of this, even though it's a remake of a game that came out less than 10 years ago. And this was something that I was thinking about, everybody's saying it's too early. And then something came to my mind about Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, the time between that and the remake. The original came out in 1996. Then the remake gets done in 2002. That's a 6-year difference. So it's not as uncommon as we might think. Yeah, it was a little different back then, but we have seen it happen before. But that doesn't matter. I'm just glad that we got these updates, but I do feel sorry for Neil Druckmann and Jeff Keighley for this getting leaked, because this was the finale for Summer Game Fest. Yeah, I do feel sorry for them. Now, we also got a first look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We got the official reveal the day before, and then we got the gameplay. Now, it's basically just like any other Call of Duty game. Basically just like any other Call of Duty game. You have guns, you have teams, you have enemies, you have missions. It's basically just like any Call of Duty. But the Modern Warfare series is really probably the biggest part of the Call of Duty, probably the biggest series in Call of Duty. It's either that or Black Ops. So this is probably going to fly off the shelves like Modern Warfare 1, the reboot of Modern Warfare 1. Yeah, it's still very confusing. It is still very confusing. And we also learned that an open beta is happening, and the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 users get first dibs at that open beta. So there's something to look forward to. Now, as for the rest of it, they started with Street Fighter 6, and we got to look at the combat, and they also revealed a character, which is, I want to say this right. I'm hoping I'm going to say this right. Gael, I think. I'm hoping I said that right. And Street Fighter 6, to me, it looks absolutely amazing. I think the game looks absolutely amazing. They're using the RE engine, and I just think these characters look great. I think the combat looks good. Yeah, I think this game's going to be pretty good. And then we got to look at the Callisto project. We got to look at some of the gameplay from there. And remember, this game is being made by the same people that worked on Dead Space 1. And it definitely has that Dead Space vibes to it. And it looks absolutely amazing. It looks absolutely gory. It definitely looks like a really good game. It looks like it's going to be really good. And if you like Dead Space, you're probably going to like this game. JoJo has already pre-ordered this game. I think I mentioned that last week. Yeah, they are really liking this, both him and Meliodas. We got an update on Marvel Midnight Suns, and something that shocked some people was the fact that we're going to see Spider-Man and Venom in this game. And that's kind of shocking, because it seemed like Sony was locking down Spider-Man. Even when Spider-Man came to the Avengers, it was only on PlayStation. Nobody else got it except PlayStation users. However, Marvel Midnight Suns is going to include Venom and Spider-Man, and that is coming October 7th. Now, Meliodas has said he does not think that this game is going to be that good, but the team making this game, we know their track record. We know they are good at making games. I mean, XCOM speaks for itself. So if you liked XCOM, definitely keep an eye on this because remember, it's made by the same team. And then got some look at Cuphead DLC. Got to look at one of the bosses that you're going to be fighting. Neon White has an official release date that is coming June 16th. So that's coming soon. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge showed off Casey Jones, and that is also coming June 16th. Got another look at Gotham Knights. Now, we did not get any more gameplay of that. We just got a look at Nightwing, and I am still laughing at that gameplay demo that they showed off. And yeah, this is one where if you're still excited about this game, maybe you wait for people to get their hands on it and maybe hear from word of mouth before getting the game. And then we saw Troy Baker and Roger Clark come on and talk about an indie game that they're working on, Fort Solace. And we also saw that Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about The Last of Us, that they are going to have roles in The Last of Us TV show. And it's not just one-off cameos. They are going to be playing important characters in the show itself. So that's pretty amazing. And it has finished filming. It had finished filming on Friday. So Summer Game Fest was on Thursday, and they mentioned on Friday they were going to be done filming. That's pretty amazing on its own. And yeah, that's all I wanted to mention about Summer Game Fest. One problem was the pacing was not great on Summer Game Fest. It just wasn't as good as we thought it could have been. And again, Jeff Keighley's trying his best here, and he did as good as he could with what he had. But again, it just isn't the same as what we would normally see from E3. You know, it's just how it is. Now, the Xbox Bethesda showcase, which was earlier today, that was really good. I am giving that an 8.5 out of 10. And only reason I'm giving it an 8.5 because there were some times where it kind of lost me a little bit. But overall, it was a great show. Showed off a large collection of games that pretty much anybody is going to be excited about, and showed off a lot of gameplay. So we saw a lot of gameplay of games, and they started with Redfall. So we got a look at Redfall, and yeah, it's pretty good. From the gameplay, Redfall looks really good, and we got to learn a bit about the characters, the 4 characters that I'm guessing you could play as, and all of them looked pretty interesting. And yeah, so Redfall from Bethesda, they look like they're doing a great job with this game. And I know Meliodas is excited about this game, and he has not seen this yet. He's going to watch it when he gets off of work. But when he does, I think he's going to be excited about Redfall. And I'm so glad that we got that. And then the next thing we got was Hollow Knight Silksong. We found out that is coming to Xbox. Originally, we saw it coming to PC and the Switch. And now we find out that it's coming to Xbox as well. And then we saw a game that is being created by the creators of Rick and Morty, and it's called High on Life. And this is so weird because it's about aliens trying to take over Earth. But what's interesting to me is the weapons, because the weapons themselves are aliens. And I don't mean that they're alien technology. I mean, they're actual aliens themselves. You know, what more can you get? What more can you get from creators of Rick and Morty? We also found out that Riot Games is going to be coming to Game Pass with 5 games starting off. That's going to be coming in winter. A Plague Tale, Requiem, found out about that. And then Forza Motorsport. We got our first look at that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And we saw a deep dive into that game from tracks themselves. We were talking about ray tracing, going from the pits, the car damage that is realistic. Everything about that game just looks amazing. That is coming spring 2023. Overwatch 2, we got our first look at that. Early access coming October 4th. We saw some DLC coming for Forza Horizon 5. Hot Wheels DLC. Mind you, Hot Wheels. I thought that was a little out there, but you know what? I'm all for it. That's coming July 19th. got our first look at Arc 2 that is starring Vin Diesel. Minecraft Legends coming next year. That was out of left field. Grounded is getting its full release in September. That had been in, I think it was early access for the longest time. Now we're getting its full release in September. Diablo 4, we got a look at that, and we got a look at a new class called the Necromancer. Yeah, and that is coming 2023, and that's going to be on both PlayStation and Xbox. That is not just going to be an Xbox exclusive. That is going to be coming to both. Sea of Thieves Season 7 is coming July 21st. We also saw a new game from Team Ninja, Wulong Fallen Dynasty. Yeah, that seems pretty interesting as well. And then the Persona games are coming to Xbox for the first time. So Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4, and then Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, Xbox fans have a lot to be excited about, because you keep hearing great things about the Persona series, but they're only on PlayStation. And now Xbox fans get to enjoy those. And then Hideo Kojima comes on and reveals that he's working on a game from Xbox that had been rumored for the longest time. Now we have official news of that. No gameplay was shown off. However, that was big news all of its own. The fact that Hideo Kojima is working with Xbox on a game, and then it ends with Starfield. And we finally get a look at the gameplay of Starfield. Now, this is pretty big. You can play in first player, but you can also play in third person mode. Sorry, in first and third person in this game. That is pretty big. We got to see what you pretty much do in this game, and I was looking at the comments when I was watching this, and a lot of people were saying it's a little bit like No Man's Sky, and I definitely see that. But I do see a lot of potential in this game. I definitely see potential in this game, and if Bethesda is able to complete this game and able to really show off some great things with this game, which I think they can. I definitely think this game has potential to be very, very good. Then they really have a hit on their hands. The only thing is they have to get this done. They have to have a completed game. They cannot mess up with this game. This is really going to determine, no, it's going to be the starting point of whether we thought it was a good idea for Xbox to buy Bethesda. That's the whole thing with this. This is the first game that's going to set the tone for that. But so far, the game, I think, looks very, very good. And we found out a little more. You're going to be able to land and fully explore on over 1,000 different planets. That's insane. That is really insane. And there's a reason why this game has taken so long for it to be made. I mean, over 1,000 planets? Whoa, that's just insane. That's crazy. But that's what they said. And okay. And I'm really curious as to how they're going to make each planet stand out. So we have that to look forward to. And one more thing, you are able to fight in your spaceship. You can control your spaceship. Now, hopefully they nail that, because sometimes you don't really nail the vehicle segments in games. I mean, we all saw what happened with Arkham Knight with the Batmobile. That was the weakest point of the game. Hopefully Bethesda can make that just as enjoyable as exploring planets. And I'm just going to say one more time, this game definitely has potential to be very, very good, but they have to execute it properly. And hopefully they do. Remember, this game is coming out in 2023. Now, my final thoughts on the 3 showcases that we saw. We saw the Summer Game Fest event. We saw the Xbox Bethesda showcase and the PlayStation State of Play. I would probably go Summer Game Fest number 3. Jeff Keighley tried his best, and I do commend him for that, but it just wasn't as good as the other 2. Then probably the Xbox Bethesda showcase and the PlayStation State of Play. And the only reason I'm putting Xbox Bethesda behind PlayStation is just because of some of the things that they showed off. I mean, they showed off some like DLC of stuff, and maybe they showed off some other stuff that wasn't up to par with some of the other reveals that they had. Both of them were just absolutely amazing. Definitely, if you have not checked them out yet, definitely go check them out. Now, what else do we have to look forward to with Summer Game Fest? Because we still have the rest of June. Well, tomorrow, Capcom is having their own showcase at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We already know that they're going to be showing off more of Resident Evil 4 Remake and more of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So you have that to look forward to if you are a fan of either one of those series. And I want to see what else Capcom has up their sleeve. I get the feeling we're going to have a surprise there that none of us are going to see coming. And then Square Enix is going to have an event for Final Fantasy VII's anniversary, and they may be teasing us that we could see Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, which is something that a lot of people have been waiting on, and that is going to be on the 16th at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Got those two to look forward to. And then we also have some other things that could be revealed during this month. So we still need to see God of War Ragnarok, and we're hearing a rumor that that will be revealed later this month, at the end of the month. We have to see if Nintendo's got something up their sleeve, because we've heard about Nintendo Direct, and also on the 14th, we're going to have an Xbox Bethesda after showcase where they're going to take a deeper dive into some of the games that were shown off, maybe even reveal some others. So there's also that. Really, anything else could happen this month. So yeah, we have that stuff to look forward to. I mean, so far, this has been a great month for reveals. We've seen a whole lot. We still have more to go. And I just can't wait to see what the rest of the month has. And I can't wait to see what the rest of the year has when it comes to gaming, because we still have games that have not been revealed or we still don't have release dates for. And I can't wait for all the surprises that are yet to come. So, as always, I am DiggsGaming, and I will see you guys next time.